Is that yes?
Oh, yeah,
So
we're
there
live
we
now.
go. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are, this is Shawn and I'm Tony, that's Shawn. And we're going to go over a couple different products this evening, talk about some things, answer some questions, and hopefully educate a little more on some of the stuff we have and where we're going. So the first thing we're going to go over is going to be the offline controller for the silverback and for the mandrill. And basically, what it is here is, as you can see, is the offline controller, and it has a nine pin cable comes out and plugs into the back of the one, actually both controllers. And then the nice part about it is you can control the machine. You don't have to tie up your computer and stuff like that. So it's really nice and handy to have because you know, if you have multiple machines or you don't want to just leave your computer there. Another nice thing is you don't have to worry so much about like USB cables disconnecting or your computer restarting or any of that stuff that sometimes we have issues with. Um, if you, I could just walk you through briefly on what it does. I'll switch over here to the offline controller. So the offline controller, this is we have a manual for it that pretty much walks you through all the settings and how to control it. It's pretty straightforward. You have a memory card that you save your G code to, and you put it inside this little controller, and then you load it up, set your machine, and then you pretty much just run your G code. Let me scroll down here to the first part. As you can see, obviously there's a power button, just plugs right into your offline controller box there. This is the screen. You have your home. You can unlock it, move it around. You can even use it to set your probe, your Z probe. Of course, set your home position. So basically, like if I use it, I'll just come onto this screen, like the main screen here. I'll unlock it, and then I'll actually go to the next screen and move it around a bit, where you want it, just as if you were on a computer. Move it around right where you want it, and then you zero it out. It's pretty much exactly like what you would do with your other controllers. And as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It's really not a whole lot to it. It also controls a laser. So the PWM is for the laser and SPN is for the spindle. So you can turn them on, turn them off, test them, and so forth. But scroll down here, it's pretty straightforward. One nice thing that I like on it here is like me personally, when I'm moving it around, I don't usually set my X, Y, and Z all at one time. I'll do them one at a time because I like to, just be precise with it, and I may actually adjust it sometimes afterwards. So it's nice to be able to come back to, and then reset them individually. So I like that a lot. Let's see here. It's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to it. It's pretty straightforward. You can, it uh, basically you can like if you're using easel or if you're using vClarve or something, you'll tell it to just export or save your file. You take the file, you save it to the card, you put it in here, and then you move it around. The commands are exactly the same for both of the machines. Move it around, up, down, and so forth. And again, the nice part about it is you don't have to worry about computer going to sleep and all that stuff. Earlier today, I actually hit mine and my USB cable. Apparently, I have a loose USB cable. So that disconnected. So then that would have been a perfect time. I wish I had the offline controller running, but I didn't. I don't know, Shawn, do you have anything you want to add to this?
Oh, it's just really nice if you have limited USB ports on your laptop or your MacBook.
Yeah, that's true.
It frees it up for if you have another machine or something else that you need to plug into it at the time. Um, I also use it for my mandrill, which is tucked away in a corner, really far from my desktop computer, and I haven't bought a 20-foot USB cable, so I mean that's what I'll use.
Yeah,
That's what I use it for.
didn't even think about that. Yeah, being too far away. Or there was one of our customers that had their machine. His computer was in the house and his machine was in the shed,
Hmm.
and he would always go back and forth and back and forth. He would go do his design, then put it on a cart and go out into the garage. And as soon as we came out with this, he was all over it. I mean, like just saved him from having to bring his computer or laptop from one place to another back and forth,
Yeah.
and he would I guess be able to have it out there. And the other nice thing is it's really not as I guess temperamental to like cold, heat, that type of stuff, not like a computer would be.
And it's powered right from your control box. You don't have to worry about a battery or anything like that either, or it dying on you.
Correct. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot to it. Basically, that's pretty much the end of the manual right there. There's just goes around. You can actually even pause it during the carve. You can have it run the laser that's on your machine, same exact thing as you would the CNC part of it, except of course you would have your control box switched over a laser, and then you would just tell this to go. Pretty much is the same
Mhm.
thing, which is nice. It's pretty much it. Not a
So
whole lot to it. It's pretty straightforward.
yeah, and as you mentioned, pause it. So the issue with pausing, if you're using a sender software on your computer, if you happen to close your computer down or whatnot, then you're kind of screwed, right? So with this one, you can pause it, turn off your spindle, and it'll stay in the. Don't turn off the control box the same as before, but as long as your control box is powered, you're not going to lose your spot.
Yeah. I find most of the time that I hear people want this is because they have their machine someplace where their computer is not, or they don't want to bring their computer back and forth, or like in your case, you have it too far away
Mhm.
and you don't want to tie your computer up while you're, running your machine. And that's most part what I hear people using it for. Me, I happen to have a computer probably for one of my machines, but that's just kind of what I do for a living. So, um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the offline controller. If we want to switch me back over here, does anybody have any questions on the offline controller? I don't know if there's anything else we would discuss about that. It's pretty straightforward.
It's just basic sending software, more or less the same thing as GSender. I mean, apart from having a few of the features that the software has, I mean, you're not
Yeah.
going to be able
Few cool
to
points.
flatten your bed unless you send the G code through it. But
Right. It is touchscreen. So that also, and
yes,
like
high tech
Sean mentioned,
touchscreen. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Sean mentioned it's powered from the machine itself, so that's nice. You don't need an extra power source or anything. And the memory card goes right in the top there, and it does come with a memory card, by the way. Comes with a SD card, not a micro. I think you can just get an adapter though. And then of course the 9-pin adapter, and is long enough just to sit right on top of the control box. But yeah, it works great actually. Actually, I don't think we've ever had, to be honest, I don't think we've ever had one um, tech issue with it. Now, Jim would be able to answer more to that, but I don't recall any tech issues with it, like problems or anything with it. Um,
what did I remember or recall?
what did Becky ask us? Being a new user, you said everything such as material bit for taking the card out of my machine. Yes. So you would do that. Um, if you're using, let's say, Easel or VCarve or whatever, on any software you use, you're always going to set your material, your bit, the whole 9 yards, everything, before you actually save the G code. And in Easel, instead of like if you were just using Easel as a sender, you would do the exact same thing before you actually send it. So technically, saving the G code is kind of like, well, I guess an easel is kind of like sending it. Whereas in this one here, you save the G code, you put it in here, and then you send it. But yes, you would set everything before you save the G code for sure. Yeah.
Mm,
Currently, can you increase the speed by 10%? Yes, you can. You can increase the speed up to, I believe, like the other ones, is it um, goes, yes, you can, by like, 100. So yes, it will be by 10% at a time. Yes. Um, Trying to think of what other features there is. Let's see. Well, it does have, go to the home. So like Becky had mentioned, You set all your settings, and let's say you get it set and you start to run and you realize something's wrong. You can actually stop it and then just tell your machine to go to home. And I've actually done this, and then take the card out, go back, do whatever changes you realize you messed up, put the card back in, and your machine is already homed. You don't have to turn nothing off. The machine's already homed and everything, and then you just tell your software to start over again. You know what I mean? Your offline controller to start over again. So that's a nice little thing.
Excuse
Um,
me.
let's see. Chris is looking to buy it at 6550 Pro. Well, what are you waiting for, Chris? Christmas? Let's see here. Yes. Um, Robert, what does it do? The offline controller runs your machine. Um, it's a sender software. You would save it out of like easel, vCarve, whatever. You put it inside the controller or the offline controller, and then you send it to the machine, and you don't have to tie up your computer pretty much. You clean your basement up before you buy the machine, by the way, Chris. Let's see here. All right. So the next one we are going to talk about is the vice clamp, and I'm going to let Shawn run this one for a little bit here. One of our really nice little tools we have.
Yeah, I actually really like it, and I'm going to be using it a lot when I start doing some more carved out solid wood boxes.
This is
But
it here.
Charles, if you'd can you pull up the photos? We'll just start
Here
with
we go.
those,
Here we go, right there.
and you can see here I have it on my 6060 and using some clamps to hold it down. Um, Unfortunately, the layout holes don't line up with any of the clamp holes for the threaded bolts. That's a bit of a drawback. However, you can get the clamps on it pretty good and easily, and it's very secure. So if you go to the next photo, I think is just a nice dirty one after the carve. And if you click again, so you can see there's plenty of clearance. I'm not quite to the top of the Z axis here, and I do have that's a 2.5 inch bit in there. I think I have. So there's plenty of clearance, even with that on your bed, to do fairly thick material. But there is a lot of play inside of it. And can we move over to the video? And here I'm doing I'm going to be doing a carve. The only thing holding the piece of wood is the vice clamp itself. I'm doing just under a 1/4 inch depth cut at about 40 inches a minute. I couldn't tell you what my spindle speed was. This is solid oak, so she wasn't very quiet. But I think I did 3 or 4 passes here. It was done in about 5 minutes. If you can scroll the time frame a bit there, you go ahead there, Charles.
What that's really nice for is you can see you don't have to clamp up on top of the
On
material,
top, yeah,
right?
and
It pulls it
that's
from the bottom.
yeah. And then I don't know if you can see the tracks. I'll once the yeah, you might as well bring it near the end where I bring the box close up, please. And just nice, clean, even edges. It didn't shift in the vise at all. I was actually really impressed with it, and I'll be using it a lot to do more of these.
Yeah,
So,
and that's what it's really handy for is holding something from the bottom,
mhm,
so that you can work from the top. Because if you have one, as you know, if you clamp it on the side, you could only go so far over.
yeah. So we'll try to get this nice and close here. You can see the tracks. I think I liked it the way it was. I don't know, but this allows you to keep your piece level inside the clamp, and that's all that was holding that oak block was the eighth of an inch tracks here, and also this squaring, the square block here. It sat in there, so you can offer. It offers a lot of pressure. It's got holes in the crank if you want to throw in like an Allen key or something to get a little more tension on there. Really push on it. And for thicker material, you actually have an open bed here, so you can put thicker material down in there. Or if you want to carve through objects, you're able to go through and not hit anything. So, well, with that, there's also
Becky asked how large of a piece of wood can it clamp, and I just measured
yeah,
4 4 3/4 inches is what pretty much it'll hold. Maybe just a little bit more, but 4 3/4.
four, yeah, more
Yeah, that's what I measured in.
measured four.
Hmm.
I'm gonna
Look for a
second
ruler.
guess you.
Are
I
you?
do this when we're working, so I'm gonna second guess you again.
All right.
All right.
I always
You're
say I'm
going to
never
the lip.
wrong.
5 inches.
Stop lying.
No, because if
That's
you
on the
go,
top piece. So there's
yes,
a lip there that you can do on the top piece,
yeah, lip to lip.
and
Oh,
then
yeah,
down inside is a little bit more or a
yeah.
little
So
less. Yes.
5 inches pretty much is maxed, but you can go almost unlimited length.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me do this, not holding it up high. So you can also outwards on it. So you can go nice and where's my camera? So you can go flush here, and then if you're sitting on those tracks, and I can't even move it. I'm trying to rip it out. So you can carve out here on this end too without worrying about any sliding.
Facebook user wants to know if it's compatible with the upgraded spoil board. It is compatible with pretty much any spoil board.
Any board.
Yeah, of course, they're all different. They all mount different from the 3018 to the mandrel to the silverback to, the other machines we have. And if we take this out, if you could see, it does come with bolts and then the other part underneath, and you can see there's 2 holes here and 2 on the back. And so it really depends on what machine you're putting it on. Like if I was going to put it on the mandrel, I would probably put the top 2 here right in the slot of the bed, or even the 1x1 of the silverback, same thing. I'll put it, and then if this bottom part does not line up, like in Shawn's pictures, you would just put a clamp on them. No big deal. But so it pretty much will work with any of them. Honestly, you just have to, mount it however, whatever kind of material you have or where you want to put it. You'd have to make sure that you can secure it. And if you can't, if the holes don't line up with that specific bed, you can just use any clamps with it, like Shawn had on his.
Mm-hmm. And clamps hold that securely, then doesn't move.
Absolutely, Becky.
Think you
It's
can?
probably best for that. You can use the tiling feature for it as long as you do not move the clamp secured onto the bed. You would
Mm,
just loosen this, slide your material like Shawn was showing you it lengthwise.
yeah,
You can do as long as you want.
you'd probably
But
have
yeah,
to take that squaring ruler on the corner off in order to be able to slide.
yeah,
But apart from that, yeah, you loosen it and then just slide it up and tighten it back up. As long as your material is the same thickness throughout the length or width throughout the length.
One other thing, Shawn, you want to show them this part here?
Oh,
It actually has
you
the
got it.
screws.
I forgot about
It
that.
you it turns it's got 2 little notches here in the bottom part, whereas you can use something like this to clamp it like this if you need to as well.
Yeah.
So which is kind of nice. One of the things
Cool.
I want to do is I have there's something like this that if you have the material that's already cut, like this is already done here. This is actually the piece I want to use. So I can't really clamp this on a bed with regular clamps. So I can use it with this, and then my bit's going to go down and drill all the way down inside of here. and then I'm going to recess. There's going to be like 4 holes in here, and there's going to be my special bits, and there's another piece that's going to cover right over it. This would be very difficult, this project to do without the vise, with just clamps, because you can't really clamp this, you know what I mean? And I would be worried if I did it on the side if it would move or lift up or anything. So there's lots of uses for it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably going to use it with my drill press as well, as it's more rigid than the vise that I have for my drill press. It's a lot of slop in it.
I'll show you one other thing real quick here. I did this right here. So I used the vise for this. If you can see, I have a business card holder, and I wanted to engrave on it. And it was a finished thing. Now I could have just clamped here or here, but this was nicer to lift up and just mount. As you can see, the lip right here, it just clamps right in. Trying to find the camera, and then I just engrave right into it, and then it just comes right off. So I don't have to worry about clamping it. And honestly, depending on what you have, some material I have to clamp so tight that I actually leave marks, and like this would have done that because this is really soft. I think it's walnut, honestly. But so this is another thing just to clamp something very nice that you could do with it. See what Shawn did?
The lid come off.
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Yeah.
clamp.
It's really, really good. It's very strong, and it does not come loose either. Like, so you would think the vibrations, like Shawn was really aggressive on his, but it does not come loose.
No, next is going to be 80 inches a minute.
Now you're pushing it.
No, no.
Let's see here. Whoops.
Any questions on that bench vise, or no? No more?
There's got to be some questions. Let's see. I haven't seen. Let me scroll up here.
Is this compatible with this board? Yeah, no. Tile feature.
I'm going to choose here. Let's see. I think that is it.
What's that coming out? What's what coming out?
Sorry. Can you take that off, Charles? Sorry, I was adding it in. There we go. All right. So I don't know if we have any more questions on that. If when's that coming out?
It's already out. You can buy it right now.
We've had it on our website. It better be there.
Last I checked,
for a while now.
Yeah, and there's.
Angie, if you're watching, it is available on our website, correct? I believe we've been selling this for a while. We just haven't really did a lot of mention on it. It's a really nice product. Let's see.
Nothing else?
Oh yeah, they're right there. If you scroll up a little bit, there's a thing that says you can order the Bench Vise right there. Okay. All right, so that's the main things. We have a couple other things we just want to kind of hit you with. Shawn's going to tell you about. I know we've been talking about doing a particular project for a long time now, and we haven't done it. And when Shawn came on, that was one of his big things he wanted to do. So he finally completed it, and we have everything. It's done. We're putting together the packages to complete packages of everything to sell, or whatever you want to call it, bundle it together. And I'm hoping early next year, like January, February at the latest, it will be on our website. So I'll let Shawn take over that.
I think you already kind of let it go with one of the photos there. If you want to.
Yeah. Shawn, it's Charles' fault.
So yeah, we come up with a mount that will attach to either the 6550 Pro or the original 6550 frame, and it's going to house a 95-degree camera. We're going to make available. We're going to play with a couple different other cameras in the future, but we've been working on just the one for now, so we can get it for our more popular machines, the 6550 series. So here you're going to see the two extrusions. It mounts directly to the rear rails of both machines. and with T brackets or 45 brackets, and it's gonna allow you to get
Here.
overlays of your material onto Lightburn. So you
This,
unfortunately go ahead there, Tony.
I was just going to say, this is the back of the machine. So if you have a 6550 or if you have the 6550 Pro, this is the back rail. And as you can see the back of the machine, there's a bracket here. There will be a bracket on the front as well. And it just comes up, comes over. The camera's on the end here, and the wire just comes right down inside the channel. So we did it in such a way that it'll work with either machine. It just pretty much just clamps right onto the back of the machine. Pretty simple in the
Mm-hmm.
front, and then and Shawn designed this camera case up or the camera holder, and Shawn's going to show you now how really easy it is to use and pretty simple, honestly.
So I'll give you a quick sneak peek of basically the features. Unfortunately, users of laser GRBL, I don't think they have a camera. They're not camera friendly as of yet. And so you can see in the photo here my laser bed. So all I have to do is click update my overlay. So now I have, once I get it positioned and everything in size correctly according to the image, I can zoom in, take a look, and very quickly throw on designs
It's
and
pretty cool.
not really have to worry about the framing aspect of things. So I just shrink it. All right. And that looks good to me. I'll leave that there. And now I want some, want some text.
It is true. The camera does require light burn.
And then what's really great about now, I don't even have to have my material perfectly square to the machine. I can just rotate from the photo. And then you'll do your preview. It shows it as it should. You're not going to see it on the preview, but this is how you can position very quickly without framing 10 times and trying to position your material to your laser bed. As well, I use this for taking photos of jobs that I've been commissioned to do, and I send proofs to my customers, and they'll see the design right on top of whatever it is I'm engraving, and they give me the yay or the nay.
I never even thought about that. That's an excellent idea, Shawn. Hmm.
I thought so.
Well, you do have some good ideas up there. I'm kidding.
Once in a while. Once in a while.
I never even thought about that. That's actually a great idea.
Yeah. And
One of the other things that Shawn, if you want to touch on just briefly, not the tech part of it, but how you made it so that if you use thicker material, you don't have to do this whole big recalibration thing again and whatever. So you kind of got that nailed down in a video instructional thing.
yeah, we're going to provide a very detailed, in-depth instructional video, and I will be available to answer questions in the user group and all, and on the forum as well. So I go through pretty much all the buttons, how to move things around and stuff, and then I also take you guys through the initial setup process of our camera. It's not a Lightburn camera, but it is a camera compatible with Lightburn. Apart from that, yeah, we give the full instructional video, and as I said, I'll be available to answer questions in the group. Maybe not immediately all the time, but I do my best. And I think
So this one's for, as you saw, the frame thing for the 6550. I'm currently working on one for the CO2 machines. It's a different camera, and it's just going to mount right up on top of the lid. So when you lift the lid up, it's going to mount there. I have pretty much everything done for it. I'm probably going to get Shawn to design one of the mounts like we've done with the other ones, like you did with the other one, because I really like it. And so then you'll be able to just lift the lid, point right down, and the
Mm.
camera will work for that. So it's same concept. It's just getting the frame and everything to work um, as we want it.
The overall height for the camera is the actual number. Yeah, it's around 18 inches, if I recall. The actual number, I can't
That
remember
was like
exactly
20,
right now.
something like that.
But that's for the 95 degree. But the extrusions are going to be set at the proper height, and everything will be in the assembly instructions. And I believe Tony's going to do the assembly video and have all that information in the assembly video as well.
Yeah, one nice thing when me and Sean were me, Sean and Jim were talking about doing the design of it. If you, I was going to say I could take it off and show you, but it's basically two 2020 extrusions, and they're put together with one on top of the other or in front of the other, and then there's um, not an L bracket. There's actually the side L brackets that actually have the screws that hold it tight. But the nice advantage of that is, and like when you had asked the overall height and so forth, you can actually move the one rail forward and slide it down if you wanted to. Like let's say you have this really big piece of material or thin piece of material or whatever, um, you can actually adjust it if you wanted to. Now it'll come preset, basically for what the basic material and height and so forth, but you're not at all stuck with, oh, this is what I have. It's not going to work with anything else. You can actually adjust it if you wanted to later on, which is really, really nice.
Um, no, the limits with the cell phone is they typically aren't uh, webcams unless you download additional apps and go through additional websites and complicated process. Not to mention, if you're just going to use your phone, if it did work and just put it there and use it temporarily, and you'd be going through the whole calibration process every time you want to use it. Is that the camera is not available at the moment, but it will be soon. Hopefully within the new year, maybe sooner.
Yeah, we have
Um,
everything. We have almost everything in stock. Jim's putting together the packages now, and we have everything done. We just got to put together the packages, and that's it.
mhm.
And make it available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And for Cheryl, if she uses her cell phone, we already know if it doesn't work, we're all in trouble. I'm just saying. She wanted me to say that. But I'll tell you one other thing. So one of the reasons why I really like the camera is so I cut a lot of stuff on my CO2s this here. And if you cut a lot of stuff on the CO2 or not just the CO2, let me take that back on the 6550. So when I'm cutting this, a lot of times at the moment I don't have like I do little earring studs and stuff like that. And so if I don't have them readily available and I need to get this done, I'll just cut this out. But I don't want to throw this away because this is good scrap. You could put this right on the bed, and how Sean showed you, just take a snapshot of the overlay. You now see this, and then you could just drag on all your little stuff, whatever, boom, cut it all out, and then you don't have to worry about setting your laser to where you want to. I can actually do all my little earring studs right here, and I can put stuff over here. So it's super handy for cleaning up your scraps. It's really, really great for that. And I know Cheryl, who does a lot of carbon like this also, this will be excellent because I'm sure we all have tons of this stuff everywhere. I have piles of scraps. So
mhm.
it's super handy for that.
Mm,
Let's see. What did we miss? Or what else do we got here? I don't
yeah,
think
and
so.
if you like further notification of any of our upcoming products, you can subscribe to our newsletter and at yorahome.com/pages/join yorahome-club.
What's that again? I'm kidding.
Not doing it again.
We did. We want to have we'll probably have after the first of the year. I think me and Sean are going to have an R&D live session, just basically talk about the stuff. We have a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of neat things, a lot of new things.
I haven't had a life in about
Yeah,
8 months.
right. A lot of unique things. We have a couple things I'm super excited about. A couple things that we've been waiting for, like the camera. There's another one also. I'm not sure if we should mention that or not, but we have just a handful of things coming out that are really neat that I think you guys are going to really like.
Mhm.
Um, Cheryl wants the CO2 one available in her stocking, she said. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's see. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything they want us to go over? Doesn't have to be
Anyone,
specifically about these.
anyone have a wish list of anything?
That was one of the things, Daryl.
Something they'd like to
Yes.
see?
So Daryl said, "Is there an enclosure on the list?" There is actually. I'm assuming you mean for the 6550s would be my guess because that's
Well,
what
it's
we
got to
have.
be for the CO2s.
Oh yeah, no, they have a lid.
Oh, I don't have
That's
one.
why I have that big fan behind me. You can't see that duck up here. It actually is on the list. We have settled on something inexpensive enclosure that's really it's really nice. Um, and no, it wouldn't work for the 6060, but it does
Mhm.
cover both machines. Um, Very lightweight. We don't have it
Yeah,
fine tuned yet, almost, so we can't really talk a whole lot with it.
that's
But
why it took so long. Was something the size that we need for our
yeah,
machines for the 6550 series of laser engravers. To get something that size at a decent weight at a very considerable cost. I mean, something
yeah,
that you'd be willing to pay for. It was very hard for us to get something. It was a lot of
it
work, a
is,
lot of
and
research.
one of the things why I like us to have an R&D like live every now and then so people can see and understand what we have going on and kind of like even sometimes some of the struggles. But like Shawn said to that note of the enclosure, you would be surprised what we went through for this enclosure. We hired a designer, we paid them, we sent it away to the manufacturer. The manufacturer did one. It was so heavy, it costed 5 times as much just to ship it than it would cost. And we were like, we can't do that. So then we did another one and it was almost the same thing. We've been back and forth over these things so many times, and we're just like, we're not going to put an enclosure out. It's going to cost thousands of dollars because it's so heavy, but it's so big. It has to be almost 4 feet wide because the 6550 is large, and then the Pro has motors on the side, and you just need to have that room. So a company
Mhm.
approached us and said, "Oh, we could do one," and we're like, "Yeah, okay." And they did it, and it's really not bad. We like it. It's nice. It's inexpensive. It's lightweight. It works, and we've already got the prototype. We're finalizing just a couple things, and then I think we're actually going to push for production definitely before the end of the year. So it may be available hopefully in January. Honestly,
Camera and the enclosure that's going to be tricky. We'll have to play with a few different angle cameras to figure that one, I think. But something we'll try.
well, so that is
Not with this camera setup.
No, but you could because in the center of the enclosure there are two rails that go across for braces. So if you want to put a camera on that, you could. However, it is going to be a very wide angle camera.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that one.
Yeah.
But it is an idea.
Okay. Let's see. And I guess um, the question was, will the enclosure work with the camera setup? The answer is no, but you could do a new camera setup inside
Mhm.
that one. It'd be different. You definitely wouldn't need a braces and
Yeah,
all that.
it's that's something we'll work on once we have the enclosures to actually play around with and figure out. Just right now, this current setup, with the 95-degree, it has to be a certain height above your material in order for it to take accurate screenshots, uh, or it'll just be too hard to. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? It just won't work properly.
Calibrate it? Yeah. Be hard to
Yeah,
calibrate it.
yeah, it'd be hard to calibrate. I might not even calibrate properly, to be honest.
So to recap here, we're hoping by the at the latest the end of January, but hopefully just after the first year, the enclosure, well, the camera and everything should be hopefully ready to go by then. The enclosure as well. We have some other products coming out early next year. Um, Lots of cool things actually.
Mhm.
We have actually some now that are in our warehouse that we don't even have for sale yet. That we have some products that are have been requested that will be out soon. They'll be announced shortly. Let's see, any other questions? Nothing.
Nothing else that I can see.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add, Sean?
Um, no, I think that's it. Just thanks for watching, I guess, and
Yeah.
thanks for using YoraHome. And hope to see you guys again soon.
Yeah. Early next year. Thanks everybody for joining in. And if you have any questions, let us know. And feel free to hop over our website, join our newsletter, and that's it. Oh, wait.
Now, Cheryl's asking you a question again.
How long do you think she cameras so I can save dollars? Um, Probably a couple weeks at the most, I would think. Yeah.
No?
Okay.
Okay. It's a deadline.
Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Have
All
a
right.
great
Bye,
evening.
everybody.
See ya.